Alright, so I've got the entire little setup here now finished. I have yet to even try it out, so we're going to do the maiden voyage here together, but I just wanted to show you how it's quickly built in this little overview video. So I've just got the little shop vac I picked up. I got this, I think, on sale for $69 or something at Home Depot. And then I got the little dust stopper that's mounted to the 5-gallon bucket, which sits on top. So you can see it's on casters on wheels, and you can see kind of how the build's set up. I drilled a couple holes here so I can just drop in the attachments here on top for each of these little pieces like so they fit right down in there. The great thing about this is how easy it comes apart. So the only piece that I had to buy was this little 45 right here, because the dust stopper only comes with one 45 degree. And so the 45 comes out of the shop vac, and then I just bought a little black PVC 45 to go on top here. This is the piping, the plumbing 45, not the white 45. So there's a female and a male end there. The male end just fits snug right there. And the female end, I just wrapped a couple of strips of duct tape because it was a little bit loose. And then that just snugs it right up, and I have a nice vacuum seal and just pop that on there. So all I do is just pop this off. I'll show you how this thing comes off here. So this itself, you can see, just lifts right out. So you can dump it out and then just, pop it back down in and you're set. So that's how easy it is. The other thing I like about this little build is that if you ever want to use the shop vac independently of the little rig here, you can just lift the entire unit out because it doesn't sit super snug down in the seat. So this entire thing just comes right off. You can just set that off, and now you're just back to your default shop vac. You can wheel it out to the family car and vacuum out all the Cheerios. So really kind of slick the way that works. Everything just sets back up in. So I'm going to bring the camera over and I'll show you kind of the build on how this little unit works, and then we'll give it a test run. I've actually never even used the shop vac, and I've never even tried to suck anything up, so we're going to do the maiden voyage here together. So what makes this entire thing possible is if you have a shop vac that has these wheel casters that have the little inserts. So typically these little inserts are used for the actual attachments. So you would stick your attachment down on this guy and lock them in place like that for your shop vac. So instead of that, of course, the inspiration here is from the video from Cody. I'll link that in the description where I got this little inspired build from. He's kind of where I found this idea from. So instead, what you're going to do is you just get some 2-inch PVC pipe and a couple of 2-inch couplers. These are just couplers. And the couplers fit down in here just pretty snug. So there's a little bit of play you can see, but that's fine for me. If you wanted to eliminate that play, you could always wrap that a little bit and then seat that. But I like the fact that it's a little bit loose because then the whole entire unit comes off super easy. So just 4 couplers on the bottom, and each of those goes in the 4 sides there. And then what I did mine a little bit different, but so I come up underneath here under the bottom, you can see that this one is just a 2-inch cap and the opposite side is a 2-inch cap. And then this is just a 45-degree angle over to this 45-degree angle. And the reason why I did that is then I was just able to stick a piece of wood in between these two. It's not even screwed down. The only thing this piece of wood here is for is when you sit your 5-gallon bucket down, just to prevent it from sinking down too far and getting wedged super tight inside of your circle. And it also gives it something to just rest and hold on as the sawdust fills up. And that's really it. So it's just those, and then of course I traced the shape out here, and then just 4 screws. So this screws right down into the top of the cap, and then this screws just right down in to the 45. And that's pretty much it. So stay tuned because I'll show you the entire build of this little guy, how I did these circles and a few things like that in the little build video. And hope you like it. I was inspired by Cody's video, so I hope you also find this useful and build your own. So here I'm just chopping down the 2-inch pipe. I think I did an inch short of 2 feet, so 23 inches on the legs with the caps, and then maybe an inch or 2 shorter on the legs with the 45s. You can kind of see what they look like there. And then here I'm just measuring across on the outside to outside to get the outer measurement. And I'm just ripping down here a piece of scrap that I had in a square of those outer measurements. You'll see here in a second when I actually traced my circle. I didn't realize, but I must have adjusted my saw in the middle and it didn't come out with the proper measurement, so my circle is not quite a circle. So here I'm just marking the center of the board, and then I tack down a little nail in the center with my string and that way I can draw just a really quick circle. So just tying this end here in a loop, and then just tracing, scoring out a little circle that I can then use on the jigsaw. And again, I did this twice because I first thought I had my measurement correct, so I just went right to the edge of the board. But I realized here in a second that was incorrect, so then I had to go about 1 inch outside. So, oops, make sure you make that mistake, that's an important step. Then here I'm just centering up the little 5-gallon bucket and then just tracing this out as well because I'm going to cut that middle section out. Punch in a hole with the drill and then go ahead and get your jigsaw or any other, you know, little handsaw would do as well here. And then just saw out that little middle piece. And then same thing, just cutting around the outside edge here. And then I just put a little bit of, I think it's a 1/4 inch round over on the top and bottom, just so I don't catch my fingers or anything on the edge as I'm pushing this thing around. So just got I have a little trim router that I used for that. Then give it a quick little sand to knock off any of the rough edges. Now here I'm just dry fitting everything. I've got just this little piece of scrap wood. You can see how it all kind of goes together like so. Alright, next step is I put like a 1/2 inch round over on this piece that sits in the middle just so it follows the contour of the circle a bit better. I traced out my little shapes where my attachments are going to go, and then went ahead and just pilot hole drilled those all the way down in through, and then just sunk a screw in each one. You can see, of course, I messed that one up. That's another important step. Make sure you always miss one screw. And then just dropped in 4 little screws here in those little holes that were drilled. The holes again were drilled through the plastic. You want to make sure you drill the hole through the plastic so you don't split the plastic. And then I'm just tracing out the little attachments where I want those guys to kind of sit on top. I kind of wrapped the hose around the bucket so that when I put these little attachments down, they would leave room for the hose to wrap around on the top as well. So that's why I had the hose in place there when I traced those. And then just chopping these things off with the skill saw really quick so these attachments can drop down in these little holes. And that's what it all looks like, all put back together now. So here's my little test vacuum, and then you can see here what it looks like in the bucket. So again, I've never even used this. It's the very first time showing you what the debris looks like in here. Bone dry, not a single speck, so pretty amazing. And here's kind of the finished look. So that little 360 here as we spin around. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that build video. I'm super excited to get it into my little shop and attach to some of my woodworking tools to get rid of all the sawdust. It's going to be great. If you have any questions, post them down in the comments. Be sure to check out the original inspiration video here, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.